There is a long tradition of band names that stem from or conjure up ideas of food, from Red Hot Chili Peppers and Cake to Cream. But one of those food-related moniker bands that has subsisted both musically and culturally throughout the past few decades is the Los Angeles, California-born band from the 90s, Blind Melon. The group, whose story cannot be told without mentioning tragedy, wrote one of the most beloved and catchiest songs of all time, No Rain. It's a critical and populous favorite. Catchy and thoughtful, Poetic and Pop formed in 1990 in LA by musicians from Mississippi, Pennsylvania, and Indiana. At its height, the group was fronted by vocalist Shannon Hoon. While the band exists today, the group went on several hiatuses throughout its career, largely due to the passing of Hoon, who died on October 1995, at just 28 years old. He died of a drug overdose going on a bender after a bad show in Houston. When the band's sound engineer went to wake him the next day, he was dead. Blind Melon rocketed to stardom in the realm of alternative rock with their self-titled debut album in 1992, which sold more than 3 million copies and reached triple platinum status. Before the untimely death of the group's leader and singer and songwriter Shannon Hoon in October of 1995, and the ensuing demise of the band, Blind Melon consisted of Hoon, bassist Brad Smith, guitarist Roger Stevens, drummer Glenn Graham, and guitarist Christopher Thorne. Blind Melon was a promising, talented new band appearing on The Late Show with David Letterman, Saturday Night Live, MTV Canada's Much Music, and in Woodstock '94. When Hood died from a tragic drug overdose in 1995, the band was clearly in the midst of perfecting and defining their unique sound, as well as claiming their fame in the realm of alternative rock. Richard Shannon Hoon was born on September 1967 in Lafayette, Indiana, the son of Richard, a construction worker, and Nell Hoon. Shannon was hyperactive as a child, but his parents did not want to put him on drugs, so they enrolled him in karate classes at the age of 6. By the time he was 9 years old, Hoon had earned a black belt. In 1990, at the age of 23, Hoon met Stevens in Los Angeles after taking a bus from Lafayette to California. Stevens and bassist Smith had moved to LA in 1989 from West Point, Mississippi, where they worked on the kill floor of a slaughterhouse, beheading, deshouldering, and gutting as many as 6,000 hogs a day. Stevens met Hoon through a mutual friend. Hoon played a couple of tunes for him, and Stevens was impressed with his voice. They decided on the spot to form a band together. The group's debut album was buoyed by the successful single No Rain and its accompanying video, which featured a girl in a bee costume and the band members frolicking in a field. The image that the single and video portrayed was that of upbeat, Grateful Dead-inspired alternative rock, yet the lyrics to No Rain revealed a deceptive morbidity, with lines like, "I don't understand why I sleep all day and I start to complain that there's no rain." It was this sort of ironic twist that underscored the band's music, and in fact the band's path to acclaim. In sharp reversal to Blind Melon's debut album, the band's second release in 1995, titled Soup, was not hailed as a commercial success at all. And Hoon himself was a classic study in contrasts. Chris Heath wrote in Details magazine, "He was crazy and rude and yet also unbearably sweet. There was an incredible spirit about him. Wanton and careless, but also somehow innocent and invigorating." After Soup was recorded in New Orleans and released in the summer of 1995, the band began touring to support the album. The night before October 20th, Blind Melon played in Houston, and according to Heath, they played poorly, and Hoon was distraught over the general course of his career. Soup was not receiving much airplay, and reviewers were panning their live performance, although the band had been consistently filling stadiums while on tour. Soup was meant to be an eclectic mix of varied musical styles. Stevens told the Indianapolis Star's Mark Allen, "I was, frankly, stunned when the reviews came out and said it was the worst record ever. I knew it wasn't that bad." Hoon was snorting large amounts of cocaine while on tour in Houston, fell asleep on a bunk in the tour bus, and died of an overdose by the time the band reached New Orleans. Don Marecki wrote in the William Patterson College Beacon, "Shannon's death placed the band in a difficult position, never fully reaching their potential. It leaves band members wondering, despite themselves, what if?" Band members dealt with Shannon's death by supporting each other, working through their initial anger and grief together, and deciding to release a tribute album in Hoon's memory. an album that would include most of the band's unreleased material, outtakes, rarities, interviews, and previously unreleased photos. Band members decided to call the final album Nico after Hoon and Lisa Krause's baby daughter Nico Blue Hoon, who was only 13 weeks old when he died. The enhanced Nico CD also featured concert footage and several full-length videos. The band decided to donate a portion of the proceeds of Nico to Musicians Assistance Program, an organization which helps musicians and others in the music industry recover from drug and alcohol addiction. Along with Nico, the band released a documentary home video entitled Letters from a Porcupine, which offers an overview of the band's personal and musical progression, as well as footage from numerous club performances, recording sessions, and road trips. Don Aquilante of the New York Post wrote, "What makes the last chapter in the songbook of Blind Melon so sad is that today's release Nico is so good that you want more. But there isn't any more there." Nico included the Steppenwolf cover, The Pusher, the ironically titled Life Ain't So Shitty, and the eerily truncated Letters from a Porcupine. The latter was a song that Hoon wrote and wanted to share, so he called Chris Thorne and played the song into his answering machine. Paralleling the end of Blind Melon, Hoon was cut off by the machine in mid-song as he sang his heart out. The song from the answering machine tape was included in Nico. After Hoon's death, the band decided they still wanted to play together, as Stevens claimed that a bond had formed among the remaining 4 members. They intend to reform with a new singer and a new name, and have received over 2,000 demo tapes from musicians, hoping to fill the tremendous vacuum Hoon left behind.